Greetings, Dr. Ali. I'm Sathi Praialini from Group 11. I'm going to talk about the introduction of our project. We are all aware that reading and writing are the two of the most important knowledge to have for a person, especially when it comes to language learning. Therefore, it is essential for teachers to provide their students with suitable learning materials. And it is also the teacher's responsibility to make sure the materials and activities are effective. My group members and I have chosen two realia which are comic strips and infographic. Next, our objectives are to enhance students' writing and reading skills, to improve their language and improve their ability to brainstorm new ideas. Now we'll move on to the justification. First of all, we chose comic strips is because it is a fun and attractive learning material. It makes students to learn fast as it's interesting. Our second area is infographic. It is an easy way to educate students about new topics and teach them to organize information in a logical manner.
Assalamualaikum and good day to Dr. Ali. My name is Syakirah Binti Shafiee. I would like to present for the process of materials development for the first realia, which is the infographic handouts. So for the process, first of all, we had a meeting with the team to discuss and exchange opinions among us, and then we find the informations needed to create the infographic handouts, especially me and Huda, because we are doing this together. So we chose the topic that we chose for the infographic handout is about the Mount Kinabalu. As you can see here, we use Canva to create the infographic handout. Huda and I were doing it together for this infographic, as we did the activities for Realia 1, which is I did the reading activity while Huda did the writing activity.
Assalamualaikum and very good day to Dr. Ali. My name is Huda Afrina Binti Uzi, and I'm going to talk about the sample of developed materials. Me and Syakirah decided to go for infographic to be our first realia, and we focus on the Mount Kinabalu. So the reason why we talk about Mount Kinabalu is all because of our main topic, that is the Form 3, Topic 3, Wonders of Nature. So it's all because our audience is focusing on the Form 3. We don't want it to be a lot of text and to be really formal. So we decided to make it short but really informative. So that's why we chose infographic. So our infographic focusing on the location, the history, the legend and myth, the Kinabalu part, the climb to the top, and the summit. So our task, reading and writing, will be focusing on this infographic to answer the questions, at the same time for them to analyze and also to adapt in the question that we'll be giving afterwards for the task. So that's all for this. Thank you.
Moving on to the reading activity. So for this activity, it consists of two tasks. For the first activity, students need to read the infographic handout and understand the key point. They will have to scan the QR code provided that will enable them to read the infographic handout in the Google Drive provided. So for the second task, they will need to scan the QR code again. That will lead them to a quizzes, which they will have to answer a quiz based on their understanding on the Mount Kinabalu infographic.
Hello doctor, moving on back to me. So I'm going to talk about our writing task. So the task for you, based on the infographic, you are required to read the task below and be ready for the next step. Task. So you will plan on coming to Kota Kinabalu soon with your family, and lucky for you, your pen pal from Sabah is willing to answer the question that you have listed based on the infographic that you got from your parents. Write an email regarding what you have got on based on the infographic. So this writing skills is focusing on the informal letter that the students can make on their own. So this is an individual work rather than a group work. So I've given 2 QR code there so that they can scan. The first one is the infographic poster that you see before. This is the protected text interface. So protected text interface, you can make your own website. For example, like you want to give to Huda. So protectedtext.com/Huda, something like that. And then you can make your own website, and after you make your own website, you can put your own secret code, and then you can give to your friend. So for example, you can make something like dearhuda.com, and then after you have done your letter or after you done your writing there, you can give the password and also the website to your friends. So it can be like an informal letter. So that is the reason why I use this website, so it won't be really redundant like before in terms of like I want to make it more new for the students. So that's why I include protected tags. So for example, I make like https://protectedtags.com/dearzafranada, and the password is class 3 merah. And then so this is the first interface. So as you can see that it's like an email. So I give something like, dear Zafran, I have been waiting for so long to send you an email, something like that. And then after that, after I've done everything, I can make my own code. As you can see the next beside that, like for example, like password 3 merah, class 3 merah, and then I can give it to the person that I wanted it to give. So it can be really secret because it's an email for a reason.
Lastly, this is the lesson plan for reading activity. As reading activity will be the first activity during the class, first of all, as teacher enters the class, the students will be introduced to the new topic of people and culture in Malaysia. Next, teacher will brief about the first activity. The first activity will just be a simple activity and as a warm-up for the students, and it will be mainly focusing on the students' reading skill. And for this activity, the students will be assessed on their understanding when they read the infographic handout and answer the quizzes. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Let's talk about our lesson plan. So the lesson plan for the writing skill. So the first one is students are required to read the infographic that is given before, and then after that the teacher will explain an activity focusing on doing an informal email, because that is based on the KSSM, as I believe, from the textbook, English textbook form 3. And then the teacher going to explain about a new website about the protected tags before, and then they're gonna create a URL with password, and they're gonna start doing their task based on the infographic that is given before. And then after that, they can actually answer the informal letter, or actually do the informal letter based on the 5W and 1H for the infographic. And then after that, the students can explain on the informal letter that they have done before in front of the class. That's all coming from me. Thank you, Dr.
Good day to Dr. Ali. My name is Suriyaganth, and I'll be explaining on the second layer of our reading activity, which is known as comic strip. So the process of the material development was storyboard. We use storyboard to create a comic strip. And these are the sample of the developed material, our QR code and the comic strip. So the end product of the comic strip is 4 strips. Together attached is the QR code. And this is our whole reading activity. Students will first read the comic strip, then they will scan a QR code and they'll be provided a reading material, and then they'll move on to their second task.
Greetings, sir. My name is
Vignesh,
and I'll be presenting
this is
on
our
the
full lesson
area
plan.
2
It will
activities
be
for
in 35
writing
minutes.
skills.
And we'll start off by
And
showing the comic
according to
strip.
the
Once
lesson
students
plan,
read the
this is
comic
the
strip, they'll
fourth
have to have
activity.
somewhat
So let's
understanding
move
of
on.
the
So
topic that we
for
will be
the
teaching them
first step,
today,
the
which is
students will
wonders
be
of
given
natures.
a Padlet
Now
link.
they will scan a QR code
So
from the
once
comic
the
strip and
students
they'll
have
be
entered the
redirected
Padlet
to
link,
another
they'll see a
website known as
comic stripe.
Radiant, and
So the
there
comic stripe
they
is
will be
about the
provided a
nature.
reading material, a
So
full
once
reading
they have
material
read
on
the comic stripe, they
the
have to form
process
a
or
group
life
of
cycle of a
4
butterfly.
people,
They'll read
and
that
then they'll have
properly,
to come up with an
and then they'll scan
essay
another QR
that
code or they'll be
consists of
provided another QR
180
code to another
words.
website where they will
And
do
then
their task, which
after
is known
that,
as
the
Google
students
Jamboard.
have to,
So in Google
meanwhile
Jamboard,
thinking about
students will be
ideas,
required
they
to
are
split into two groups,
encouraged to
Group
use
A
the
and Group
Iowa
B.
app
So
to
Group A
brainstorm their
students will
ideas on the
highlight
essay.
words that they
And
don't
after
understand
that, they'll
from
have to complete
the
the
reading
essay
material
and
we provided
submit
them,
it
and
on
they will list down those
Padlet
words
link
under
for
Google
the
Jamboard
teachers to
in
check.
their section.
This is the
And Group B
Padlet
will
link
list
for
down
the
their
students
words
to
which they don't
enter.
understand under
This
their
is the
section of
Padlet link
the
that
Jamboard.
they'll be
Now,
entering.
once they've listed down
So
all the words or the
they'll see
vocabularies that
the
they don't
comic
understand,
stripe,
Group B
and then the
students
ending of
will
the
have to
comic
solve
strip,
or will
as
have to
well
define the words that
as
are
for
present
their
in Group A's
submission. They have
section
to
of the
submit
Jamboard,
it
and Group
alone in
A
the
will have to define the words present in Group
space
B's
given for
section
them.
of the Jamboard. So during this
And
period,
as
they'll
for
have to
the
discuss, they'll have to
reflection,
define the words
the
Group A don't
students
understand, and Group
are
B will have to define
able
the
to
words Group A don't
understand the
understand.
purpose of
So together
the
with this, they
study,
can provide
like
picture
writing skills
examples
and
or they
reading
can
skills.
provide
They
any
are able to
illustrations
understand it.
to define the
And
words.
as
So we
secondly,
can
the
call this
students
as
are
a
capable of
single
answering the
sentence
worksheet
definition.
and
So we have to define
acknowledge the
words with a
beauty
single
of
sentence
the
briefly and
nature's
more
wonder.
comprehensible.
That's all
Plus,
from
to
me,
make
sir.
it
Thank
even more
you.
understandable, they have to provide pictures or examples of situations to those words. Integration of technology for Aurelia, two main integration technologies is the QR code and Google Jamboard. So why we chose QR code is it's more convenient. Most students possess a handphone, so it's easier for them to scan a QR code rather than be providing them the link or asking them to search for the website. Once they scan the QR code, they can just be redirected to the website to do whatever task they have to do. It's more adapting to the new era of learning and teaching, which is technology, because last time we have to go for traditional classrooms, traditional learning, which is going to classrooms and teacher prepare materials and stuff. But now we just have QR code and it's more adaptive where all the materials can be pasted in one website. All students have to do to visit those materials is they just have to scan on QR code. And one more thing, it's easier to share. So students who missed out on any lessons or stuff, or they have bad internet connection, other students can just share this code in a group or just screenshot the code and send for other students to scan. So it's even more easier. So our second integration of technology is Google Jamboard. Why we chose this is because Google Jamboard is the new way of taking down notes or writing down stuff. You don't need pencils or papers. Students can just write down things or paste or stick notes they want under Google Jamboard in the provided section. they can also attach pictures and illustrations as well. So other students get to utilize this platform as well. A lot of students can utilize this platform at once as long as they log in. It's more adaptive and it's more creative, like I mentioned, because they can provide pictures and what's not to as a way to take down notes. So that's all for me on Relia number 2, which is comic strip on reading activity. Thank you.
In a nutshell, Relia and technology helps us to create better activities for students to learn. It also helps teachers to provide students with fun and effective learning process instead of just copying notes and reading from the textbooks. That's all from us. Thank you.